Okay, China has said it. They've come out and said it at Rio de Janeiro's conference. If we give in to tyranny, it's like drinking poison. Now, what he actually meant to say. Now, the one thing about China is they do not say 1,000 words when they don't need to. What that actually means is America is tyrannical, and if we give in to them, we'll kill ourselves. Is blatantly what that means. China has the ability to see things so clearly. So, if the rest of the world wants to kill itself, give in to America. If we want to thrive, survive, and develop, move forward, live our lives, ignore them, disappear, let them fade off into obscurity. And the funny thing is, the president of Mexico, she blatantly said the same thing, only in a very long letter to America. And she said it actually on behalf of the rest of the world, actually talking to America. Now, that was a really cool letter, actually. I read it. It was actually kind of amazing. Where she actually states that while they're building a physical and economical wall against the rest of the world and Mexico, by the time they finish, they're going to disappear off into oblivion. And that's exactly what's going on. When you sum it all up, that's what she said. You know, their physical wall between them and Mexico and their economical wall between them and the rest of the world, they're going to actually fade into oblivion and disappear from the world stage as the rest of the world moves forward. Just carries on living its life and doing what it needs to do. They're going to grow and develop and move forward in synergy. That's exactly what's going to happen. And what I find really amusing is while all that's going on, what's going to happen in America as they lose everything? There'll be no more trade, there'll be no more imports, exports, none of that. So what's going to happen is they'll lose, daily necessities. They'll have to start turning inwards. They'll have to start relying on the land to feed them. Now, one thing we know from history, which is an absolute fact, is that the colonisers, us, the French, the Spanish, we never learned really how to manipulate the land enough. We didn't. We just never learned how to do it well enough. Which is why the natives had to help us, because we've struggled to manipulate that land and to get any real good out of it. We've gotten better over the last 400 years over there, and we've got farms going and whatever else, but it's not a farming land, it's not a farming country. But the Native Americans, they knew how to use that land, and it wasn't just in certain areas, it wasn't just in some places. They understood that land so well that they could go anywhere across America and manipulate it to do their bidding. So they could survive and thrive anywhere in America, Mexico. They could thrive and thrive anywhere. So what's going to end up happening is while they struggle to feed however many millions there are over there, and it's one of the largest and the largest populations, the Native Americans are going to go back to their roots, back to their traditions, back to their ancient ways, and they're going to go back to the land. And they'll be fine. They'll have no issues whatsoever. And the Americans will go back to begging for help because they'll struggle in certain seasons, in certain ways, in certain everything, because when they run out of resources and they run out of ways to help themselves, they will start begging for the Native Americans to help them, because that's exactly what will happen in the end. And even if it takes them 3 or 4 years to start begging, or even 10 years to start begging, it can take up to 10 years maybe, if they're clever enough, to start begging for help from the natives to help them get food and to The natives are well within their rights to tell them where to go, and I can see it happening. Because when they did help the colonisers, and remember they helped the colonisers, and the colonisers were evil, horrible, nasty people, because we weren't very nice at all. Do you remember that? We were horrible, nasty, evil people. We weren't very nice to anybody. History does attest to this, and we are well aware of the history, and we are not afraid of it, and we are ashamed of it. We were horrible to everybody. We were nasty. And when they did help us, what we did, we destroyed them for it. We took their land, we killed their people, we enslaved their people, we did an awful lot of horrible, vile, nasty things to their people. We were horrible. And we continue to be horrible. Funny thing is, after we left, when we actually left and they had established an actual civilization over there, and we came to actual sort of 1775, 5, and we get to the American Revolution and where they threw the British out in 78, we all left, and the British left in 78, completely gone. They still continued to be horrible, vile and nasty to the natives, because they were still being horrible, nasty and vile to the natives during World War One. That was the last one that I found. I mean, I didn't go much farther than that because I just got bored, but they were still being nasty, horrible and vile to the natives in 1914 through the whole of World War One. So they can't turn around and say, oh yeah, well it's all our fault, because it's not. They could have stopped. They could have turned around and said, look, it wasn't our fault, it was all them, blah, 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 but they didn't. They carried on, and they continue to carry on, and they continue to steal more land and do horrible, nasty, horrible things, So it's not all our fault, and, not completely, totally and utterly, but we were horrible, and we'll never deny that. Not ever. But, so when the country is isolated from the rest of the world because of its walls that it's built, both its physical wall and its economical wall that it's now building, and it fades away into oblivion from the rest of the world, when it gets desperate enough, it will start asking the natives for help, because the natives won't have any real problems, because they'll go back to its roots, because that's what they can do, because they can manipulate that land to do whatever it needs to do, because they're clever enough and they're smart enough, and they've been doing it for thousands of years. Strange that. And the Americans need help, because let's face it, without imports and exports, they won't survive more than 10, maybe, if they're really lucky, 15 years, on their own, manipulating their own land in their own country, feeding all those millions of people, right? They will inevitably turn to the natives and beg for help. And the natives, I can so see it happening. The natives will tell them where to go. And not only will they tell them where to go, I can see what will happen in the end is the natives will just regain back everything they lost. The natives will take back their land, because the American military will have no power, no ability to fight, because it's got no energy, it's got no food, it's got no abilities, although it's got all the equipment in the world. It's no good if the people can't fight, because there's no supplies for them. See, the thing about having a massive military and a mass of people, if you can't feed them, it's useless. So, having all those people and all that military will be useless when you run out of supplies. And the natives will go, they're weak, they're begging, they're useless, the land's ours, we're going to take back everything we're owed. And they'll lose, because there's no more supplies coming. And the only people who have supplies are the natives. And all America knows how to do is, rush into battle. The concept of quiet and refined and, you know, sneak tactics seems to sort of evade them. And even if they can do it, when they don't have any real supplies, the natives will be stronger than them, more prepared than them, and understand the land better than them. Because all America does is boost its equipment, not its military. Oorah, oorah, yah, yah, yah. You're cheerleaders. You can't even beat the British in war games. And it's been proven. Because the last war games, you actually failed. You actually tried to reset them because halfway through you failed and you didn't like it. We got halfway through the last set of war games and you didn't like the fact you were losing, so you wanted to reset them and start again. The reality, you can't even beat us in a battle simulation. That's sad. You know, so you'll never beat the natives. Not again, you know. When you were fighting them before, you were better armed, you had more supplies, you had trade, you had everything going for you. This time round, they have everything going for them because you'll be cut off from the entire world. No supplies coming, no trade, no imports, no exports. The whole world wants nothing more to do with you. You'll be left entirely on what you and yourselves can actually do. And oorah, oorah, yah, yah, yah isn't going to cut it when you've got no food or you're low on supplies and a massive army and millions of people to support. Your America, your economic wall is going to destroy you, and your physical wall is just daft. The Mexican president was spot on when she said that you will fade away into oblivion, but what I can see happening is that once that happens, you're going to need the natives, and the natives are going to tell you where to go. Well, they thrive on their land because they understand it. You, the colonizers, the immigrants, the people who took their land, stole it, destroyed them, are going to need them. And they're going to go, don't think so somehow. Sort it out yourself. Because they won't want to help you. And when you're at your weakest, I can see them taking their land back from you. The same way you took it from them. They'll destroy you when you are at your weakest. It's a shame, really. All because you voted an orange man into power. And now you've got two walls, a physical and an economical. And a whole world who hates you. And the funny thing is, they don't hate you people, they hate the country. And it's the people that are suffering because the country is horrible. And China is right. Any country who gives in to you will kill itself. Giving to tyranny is like drinking poison. It's horrible and it's sad. But when the people have to suffer for a country's mistakes and decisions, there's nothing that can be done unless the people do something. There's a lot of countries, every country around the world has problems, has issues to deal with. We all know that every politician on the planet has a corruption about it. The French deal with everything in violence as a rule. If they don't like what's going on, they riot, they fight, that's their way. Every country does things differently. The British are political about things. We've learned that, protests can lead to dangerous consequences, so we do things politically. It takes time, takes patience, but we get results. Because we have to, because our government have to listen. Nice little clause, that. We love that. But the way things happen in America are strange. You either are up in arms or you do nothing. It's weird. You get up in arms over the tiniest little things, and when things really matter, you do nothing about it. You just sit there and let it happen. Only now, what you're going to let happen is your own destruction.